All right, you got the Aired Out podcast live from the ASB Financial Studios, Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barrie. Absolute pleasure to have you on board. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We just had some pretty crazy weather that just tore up North Main Street here, and there's cars flipped upside down, and buildings are on fire everywhere, and there's no, it was just yeah, no, it was pretty intense there for a little while. It was just ripping. But and Raylene was saying that she had some pretty good lightning and thunder and whatnot out in East Montpelier. But we like literally seconds later, it's sunny and in summertime again and just beautiful. But some wicked weather just coming through. Sitting right next to me is Garrett Sicely. Dude, first of all, welcome, man. Welcome to
Appreciate it, buddy, very much.
Dude, we're so happy to have you in here. You know, I don't know when I saw you last. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I'm almost positive it was back at the Froggy Station.
Yeah. So I got to just start out, man. How tall are you? You're a big dude.
I think 6'3".
6'3"?
Yeah, because the last time I had to go get a physical done for work.
Dude, I look ridiculous standing next to you. But I'm so glad you're here, man. I know I look ridiculous standing next to most people, I think Raylene is saying. Brother, what the hell have you been up to? What's going on with you? You're a dad. I mean, you and your wife just had twins, man. I mean, it's like you are a busy man.
I'm busy a lot with, being a dad, like you said, and work and stuff and fishing and stuff. But got to give a huge shout out to my wife because God bless her, she has been home with these kids, dealing with them and everything that goes along with having 4 kids under the age of 7. God bless her soul. I love her so much.
I don't know how people do it. I could do it with a lot of medication, I think. But I mean, this is amazing. You are a busy dad. So what's the story with you and fishing? Are you a pro fisherman? A pro angler?
I'm working my way there.
How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
So, you're part of the Rutland Bass Club?
Correct.
And to go up a few more 1,000 feet above that is Vermont Bass Nation. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And that's a nonprofit.
It is a nonprofit organization. Yes, they do. Currently, right now, we do 2 open tournaments, one in the spring and one in the fall. And usually that generates a pretty good turnout that usually gets us to where we need to be for when we go to regional championships wherever they are. This year it was on the St. Lawrence River. So
how did you do? You did pretty well.
I was fortunate enough to come in first place on the co-angler side for Vermont. Wow. 3-day tournament with just under 32 pounds of fish on 9 fish. Day 1 was my biggest bag, had almost 14 pounds of fish with 3 fish. So shout out to my guy Justin Waddell in New Hampshire. He put me on fish, so very, very happy.
So what's that mean now? Break that down. He's looking at the fish finder thingamajig?
So everybody has, with today's technology and boats and so on and so forth, he had the right electronics, but granted, all of these fish were on beds, so you could see them bedded in the St. Lawrence River in 15 feet of water. So dropping down to them, it's like it's pretty easy, even though they're giant 5-pound fish.
So you've been doing tournaments now for 2 years.
Correct. Yes.
So you're classified as an amateur. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about this itch that you've been scratching now. What does this go back to when you were a kid?
I've been fishing the majority of my life for fun for the greater half of 15, 20 years.
Wow.
And it was a lot of thanks to my buddy Chris Martin, who is our tournament director at Rutland Bass.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, we're recruiting new members. He's like, you and I have fished on Champlain before. You would be perfect if you want to get into this. And a lot of it is confidence.
That's
Confidence you got to have, because it's like, if you think you're good enough to go out there and compete with whoever it is, the best there is, it's a lot of it's up here.
So what makes you good? You've got to have I'm guessing a crew that knows how. They have a good boat. They've got good knowledge. They know where to put you as the fisherman.
As
good lures, good technique. I'm guessing all of that.
So a lot of when a co-angler starts is you're learning from your boater. And the good thing is about Rutland Bass is all of our tournaments, we're fishing with a different guy every day. So you as a co-angler, you're learning something different from somebody that has 10, 15 years experience more than you. I have genuinely learned something from every single boater.
That's awesome.
That I have been partnered with since I started the club last year.
That's so cool.
It really is cool.
What do you learn? Is it technique? Is it where to drop the lure?
When Chris and I were talking about this, I wanted to learn the southern half of Lake Champlain, because I had confidence that I could go up north, like north of Burlington, and catch smallmouth bass, because that's the majority rules up there. Okay. But the southern half of the lake, so from Crown Point all the way to Benson, is primarily a largemouth spot, and I wanted to learn how to fish a swim jig better, how to fish a bladed jig better, just a regular flipping jig, throwing a frog, and stuff like that.
Wow. So I've always been curious to know, what the hell's the difference between a smallmouth bass and a largemouth bass? Other than, is it just the mouth? It's not just the mouth.
It's not just the mouth. The way a smallmouth, the way they're built is, the obvious is, a smallmouth is a much browner color. Yeah. Much browner color with dark black stripes on it, and a largemouth is pretty typically a darker green. Okay. With the lateral line going straight across, like the center of its body.
All right.
Usually you can tell the difference, like if you're catching a smallmouth that's like almost black.
Yep.
They're burying themselves into deeper water, is what I've learned. And
it's fascinating. We're showing a picture of you right now. What do you have there?
That's my personal best largemouth. 23 inches long, 7 pounds, 5 ounces.
23 inches long. Dude, so what tastes better, smallmouth or largemouth?
I don't eat that many. When you're catching them that big, there's no point into eating them. I just like putting them back and watching them grow, get bigger.
You do, huh? Wow. This is unbelievable. So, who goes with you? Do you take your family with you?
Not at the moment, because I don't have a boat yet. I'm working on getting there, because my oldest, Aiden, he's starting to get into it as far as that's concerned, and it's something that he and I absolutely enjoy.
So amazing. So you I'm just looking here at my notes here, that you did the Vermont Bass Nation State Tournament, and you were a qualifier last August.
That is correct.
That's incredible. So this is the top 10 boats and top 10 anglers.
Top 10 co-anglers. Yep.
Co-anglers.
Yep. Yeah, the boaters fish from the front of the deck, and co-anglers fish off the back of the boat.
Where did you land?
Third place.
Third place.
Third place last year.
So how's this year going?
Well, our state team qualifier isn't until next month,
Okay.
and so our STQs run. Well, you do a 2-day tournament in August. Last year, they were both launched out of Larrabee's down in Shoreham, Vermont. This year is something a little different. Day 1 is out of Larrabee's on Saturday. Day 2 is out of Apple Island in Milton, Colchester. I'm not exactly sure what you want to call it. It's kind of in between.
So you came in 25th place here out of 120 anglers
At the Northeast Regional Qualifier
up in
month.
the St. Lawrence River.
Correct.
This is amazing, man.
I'm kind of, like I said before, I'm pretty disappointed in myself for 25th place.
I think that's absolutely badass.
You know, I'm deep down inside, yes, I'm happy, but I was sitting in second place after day 1, like 4 ounces out of the lead.
Ooh.
So I was right there after day 1. I couldn't replicate it the days 2 and 3, but I caught enough to move on. So I'm happy about that and looking forward to getting a chance to fish in national championship in November.
Yeah, and that's in where? Alabama?
Florence, Alabama on Lake Pickwick.
They've got bass in Alabama? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, truthfully, I didn't know much about it either. I immediately after that tournament at Northeast, I started looking at Lake Pickwick and finding whatever I could about it out. So it's got above average smallmouth, above average largemouth. They even have spotted bass down there too.
Really?
I've never caught a spotted bass before in my life.
So you guys do tournaments all over Champlain, and then you do tournaments just for fun too.
Yes. Yeah, in our club tournaments, we usually start our year in April and have like three tournaments that aren't associated with our Angler of the Year series. Our Angler of the Year series is completely different. You get points based on what place you finish and so on and so forth. And at the end of the year, whoever has the most accumulated points through all those tournaments gets a nice trophy and a couple other things.
I'm just looking here at the Vermont Bass Nation Facebook page. Nice picture of you and this guy Tommy Waltz. That's your teammate, right?
That is my teammate. He won the boater side for Vermont. So him and I will be both of us will be going to Pickwick in November. So
how this is serious business.
Absolutely.
This stuff.
Absolutely.
There's no fooling around. This is not a bunch of guys just putting back a few beers and fishing.
Not at all.
And Raylene was telling me the other day, she's like, when you have Garrett on, there is some big ass money that's tied up in this.
Once you get, there is to an extent once you get to that level. Once you get to the Elite Series level, that's where the big time money is, but there is still a lot of money involved for what we are doing.
When are you hoping to get this bass boat? Your own.
I need
You need to rob a bank, bro.
I wouldn't go that far, I just, praying somebody would fully sponsor me and be like, hey, here's a boat and we'll wrap it with our logo on it, and
yes,
you go fish wherever you want in a perfect world.
What are you do you have a sponsor right now?
My current sponsor right now, they sponsored me for my club events and one tournament I already did. The Vermont Bass Nation Open is North Point Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Derby, Vermont.
Awesome.
Shout out to them guys.
Yes.
Up there. So
to get a bass boat, do you have your your eyes set on one? Do you have what's the fantasy?
The fantasy is a $70,000 brand new Skeeter with a 250 horsepower and a Minn Kota 112 36 volt with spot lock on the front.
Jeez, man. So what's next for you? I mean, how are you breaking away to fish? Are you able to do that? Are you fishing like every weekend?
Mostly just fishing our club tournaments. We do the majority of them on the weekends, which are 8-hour tournaments, but we also do weeknight tournaments as well. So just 4-hour tournaments, usually from like 4 to 8 and stuff. So
what happens in the dark with bass? What do they do?
Truthfully, from a couple friends of mine, I've actually never done it, is topwater fishing at night is dynamite for bass. Usually it's calm and you're just throwing a loud bait and you're just waiting to hear a huge splash and watch your line go zzz.
That's so great. Wow. I went fishing in Champlain 2 summers ago. Or was it last summer? I think last summer. Was it last summer? For the first time ever off a boat. And I just absolutely loved it. Went out with a couple guys from, was it First Strike? I think it's called. I'm not sure.
Oh, Sure Strike.
Sure Strike.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep, Sure Strike charters.
And we went out, and I had such a great time. We were just below the Four Brothers, and I got 3 Lakers, and I was just beside myself. What an amazing feeling it was. Amazing.
Jigging Lakers is a lot of fun as well. Those guys troll for them, but if you've got good enough electronics, dropping, like, just using a regular spinning rod, and dropping down to them in
free casting and all that,
in like 100+ feet of water, hooking one and watching them friggin' zzz, just
it's
drag
amazing.
Screaming. Oh, it's fun.
It's so incredible. It was so exhilarating. I mean, it's hard to describe.
I was actually telling the guys at work today that I don't think people truly appreciate what we have. I mean, between Vermont and New York, for both states, I don't think people truly appreciate what we have here between Lake Champlain and the St. Lawrence River.
That's right.
All up here, and the closest point from the St. Lawrence to Champlain is like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That is, you got 2 of the best bass fishing lakes in the world within 3 hours of each other, and it's I'm beside myself.
What about Lake George? You ever getting there?
I have never actually gotten to Lake George. I've heard a little bit about it and stuff. I hear it's really great during the wintertime catching lake trout, but I've never actually looked into it that much.
And the Adirondacks have some real gems in there too.
Yep.
Wow. What do you guys? What is Vermont Bass Nation or Rutland Bass Club do in the community? Do they sponsor anything?
Not to my knowledge, to an extent. Rutland Bass, we're exploring a couple different options, possibly a name change as far as getting new boaters and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to expand our club, because we do, yes, it says Rutland Bass on the website and everything, but we have tournaments on Northern Champlain, and I know a couple other clubs that have closed down, so trying to draw new members as far as from all over the country, all over the state is our goal, to make it as competitive as we can, but making it fun first and foremost.
Is there ignorance here, but I mean, I'm guessing there's some pretty good prize money that's involved with this?
Once we in Rutland bass, all we pay is our dues for the year, which pays for our tournaments and stuff. We don't give out cash prizes at the end of every tournament, which is why we're exploring bigger like Angler of the Year prizes at the end of the year. So paying for a regional entry fee, paying for a marshal fee for when the Elite Series guys come up here. We're exploring different things along that front.
How's the state of Vermont treat you guys?
You know, the state, as far as hosting bass tournaments, is okay. We they don't really like a lot of the heavy boat traffic on the Vermont side.
Yeah.
My viewpoint is, how much money are you gonna bring in with these guys coming from different states?
Yes.
And stuff like that.
To
I
the
mean, why
economy.
wouldn't you? I mean, that seems like a no-brainer to me. I mean, New York is great, and that's why the majority of the bigger tournaments on Champlain are out of Plattsburgh, Ticonderoga, that sort of thing.
Is the state out there, are they patrolling? Are they counting fish? Are they making sure that you guys are staying within state law and all that?
I mean, the Coast Guard and Vermont Fish and Wildlife, yes, they do a good job as far as checking licenses and making sure everybody is legal and safe out on the water and stuff. They do a good job of that. So
yeah. So there's the question I have for you is, how do you know what to be dragging through the water? What kind of lure to be dragging? Is there a favorite lure? Is there just one that you go with each time?
I mean, a lot of it depends on the time of year. I mean, this time of year, all the bass are all post spawn. So
what's that mean?
So when they're spawning,
yeah,
they're in shallow water and they're making beds to make babies.
Got it.
So after that,
they go deep.
A lot of those smallmouth especially, they go out deeper. I mean, my partner Jeff Patch and I fished a tournament not this last weekend yesterday, but a week before that, and bass were all post spawn, and we caught them in 20 feet of water on a drop shot, and we caught 6 fish for 24 pounds. Got us first place for our club tournament event.
Wow. But they like to hang out, like what?
Smallmouth, typically you'll find 80% of them out deep.
What's deep?
I mean, I've seen people catch them trolling for lake trout in like 60 feet of water.
Wow.
The deep, I mean, I haven't fished anything deeper than like 30 feet of water, and that's usually on a drop shot. So
what's a drop shot?
So your drop shot rig is a light finesse setup. So you have your weight, a cylinder style weight. I like throwing a cylinder style weight because it pops out of the weeds and rocks really easily. So it gets it erratic when you pop it out of it, and you've got and your bait above it, like give or take a foot above it. So when that weight is sitting on the bottom, that bait is parallel like this, just sitting above the rocks along the edge of weed lines. I mean,
so I'm going to ask you a dumb question here, but are you fishing with a lure, or are you fishing with live bait?
No, we can't. You can't fish with live bait in any tournament setting like that.
Gotcha.
So artificial is the only way to go.
So like a plastic, like a rubber.
Yeah. My the biggest. Wow. Every single fish I've caught on a drop shot on Lake Champlain has come on a Berkeley Max Scent flatworm. It's a bait about that long, give or take, maybe about that long. They come in different sizes, a 3-inch, and they just came out with a 4 and a 4.25 inch. That 4 1/4 actually caught me all of my fish at the St. Lawrence day one.
Wow.
Inch bait. So
Where can you buy these lures, these worms?
On online Bass Pro Shops. There's a couple places around.
R&L?
I haven't been in R&L.
Okay.
Recently.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places. Rack and Reel over in East Haven, over by Middlebury.
Yeah.
They've got a pretty good selection of just about everything over that way, especially drop shot worms, and the tackle shop, tackle box. Sorry, in Milton, on your way just off the Milton exit, about a little over half a mile.
So I'm guessing that you've got several fishing poles.
Yeah.
How many?
I think I have 12.
All right. So, what's the what is the purpose for each pole? Like, when do you know?
When you're doing different tournaments and stuff, depending on, like I said, what type of year it is, like I'll have 2 drop shot rigs rigged up, ready to go. I like fishing a Ned rig. It's a tiny quarter ounce little jig head with a 3-inch Z-Man plastic. Z-Man plastic is the best. They're so dependable. You could catch 100 fish on them and it wouldn't even tear off.
Really?
And that's my basic smallmouth setup. That's the best way I like catching them. And this time of year, from the end of June all the way to October, you'll catch smallmouth out deep, and that's primarily how I like to catch them.
So fascinating. Do you have any boat? Do you go out in kayak or?
Negative, not at the moment. I mean, where I'm at, we have we have quite a few lakes and stuff, and places that you can fish from shore and stuff, and have been successful and stuff with that, just messing around and making sure your gear is right and that sort of thing.
Where do you live?
Albany, Vermont.
In Albany. What's your favorite close by lake? You've got you're at home. You've got a good 2 hours to kill. Your wife says, hey, I got the kids. You go off fishing. You got 2 hours to do it. What are you grabbing? Where are you going?
I'm, if I had a boat, I would go to Seymour, especially. If it was, especially on a cloudy day, that water is gin clear, and I've always heard that they bite better on those cloudier days. There are some giant smallmouth in there, but little Hosmer, big Hosmer is literally 10 minutes from my house. So
10 minutes. 10
minutes. So I can throw whatever I want at them. It's a largemouth spot. So this time of year, I would be throwing a topwater, a Ned rig. I probably wouldn't be throwing a drop shot, but a chatterbait probably would be, and a wacky Senko.
What about Willoughby? Crystal
would be more appealing to me during the summertime if it had bass in it.
Yeah.
Memphremagog is only 20 minutes away, and there is a few spots that you can hit from shore up there, and so on and so forth. But I've only ice fished Willoughby and Crystal, so caught a lot of lake trout.
Why bass? Bass that's your fish. Over Lakers. Why?
When I'm out on the water and I'm thinking about it, both lake trout and smallmouth act almost exactly alike, except for Lakers live out deeper.
Yeah.
They are both like freshwater sharks.
Yeah.
You hook into a smallmouth in 20 feet of water,
you'll get a good fight.
Words can't even describe it. It is one of the most exhilarating fights
love that.
of your life.
I love that.
It's
like when you were a kid.
Exactly.
It's like when you were a kid, you were riding your bicycle for the first time. Holy shit, look what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And it's the same feeling.
Exactly.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. You know, I'm enjoying this right now. I'm really excited about getting to Pickwick in November.
I'm sure you are. And we want to hear about that and stay in touch with you on that, obviously. But are you making a living off this?
No.
What do you do? How do you make a living?
I work at Swenson Granite.
Got it. Do you dream of making a living off of this? Are you watching the
Absolutely.
the pro bass fishing TV shows?
Absolutely. We were fortunate enough last 2 weeks ago now. We went to the Elite Series weigh-in on the St. Lawrence River out of Clayton, New York, which was like an hour south of where we were in Waddington when we were at the Northeast Regionals.
Mm-hmm.
So with all those Elite Series guys there on that championship Sunday, they only bring the top 10. And I was like a kid in a candy store watching those guys come up to the stage, and it's like the century mark was broke twice by two different guys.
When you were there?
When we were there on Championship Sunday. It's the first time it's ever happened in the history of bass. So a 4-day tournament, the winner, Jay Shakurat, rookie, 102 pounds of fish for 4 days.
Is it, Garrett? Is it just luck though? Is it just luck that makes a great fisherman a great fisherman?
Not even. No.
Not even close.
No. Those guys have dedicated everything.
They're reading the weather. They're reading the lake. They're reading
and experience. Experience goes a long ways. I mean, the Johnston brothers, they're both from Cavan, Ontario. They know the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario better than any Elite Series angler out there. So I was. They know
where all the ledges are and all the underwater topography.
Their house is an hour away from the St. Lawrence River. So before they were Elite Series guys, that's where they fished. So, and I was fortunate enough to meet Corey Johnston, and talk to him a little bit. I actually got a picture with him as well, and talked to him a little bit. It was over the winter time. Before I knew anything about the St. Lawrence River, I reached out to Chris Johnston, and I was like, dude, I'm fishing this as a co-angler in Northeast Regionals around, we were there practicing on Father's Day weekend, so our tournament was the week after. And I was like, can you give me some tips on what the bass are doing that time of year typically, and what should I be, have tied on typically? He's like, bass are going to be in all three phases of the spawn: pre-spawn, on beds, and possibly post-spawn. He was pretty well on point with that. When during our tournament days, all those bass were on beds, and so it was really cool that I could reach out to him and give him and ask, some pointers on it and stuff. Those guys are they're incredible guys. They're super approachable. I mean, I got to talk to Lee Livesey, Matt Robertson. We even got to talk to Jay Shakur, the kid that won it. I mean, he's 23 years old, an Elite Series rookie. He won one of the Bass Nation Opens in his state last year to get to the Elite Series.
How much money do you think, just you yourself, even without owning a boat, just your gear, your tackle, how much money do you think you have wrapped up?
Invested in it right now? Oh, goodness.
This is the part where we don't want your wife to be listening to what we're saying here.
I'm going to say probably $3,000 worth.
Wow.
I mean, a couple of my setups are between my rod and my reel are $500.
What about deep sea fishing, ocean fishing? Do you like that?
Never really got into it, Really? I don't know.
Have you been out? Have you done it?
I've never done it. Never done it.
No.
Do
you think you could, pardon the pun, get hooked?
I think it would be cool to go.
Fisherman's a fisherman, Garrett.
I think going to Florida to catch a Goliath grouper, like I think that would be pretty fun. You know.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
Nice mahi.
Yeah. But
some
you
tuna.
know, it's just never been. I've never gotten really that excited about it.
Interesting. There's nothing like being out on the water, on the open water.
You know,
your focus, your concentration, where you go in your head is a different place.
Absolutely. And even though you are fishing, you can't take it too seriously. Once you start taking it too seriously, you get all bent out of shape. You're inside your own head. You can't think straight. At the bottom line is just have fun.
Just enjoy it.
Enjoy it, really.
Yeah. I think we have to remind ourselves about that, about many things in life, not just fishing, but many things.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you seem like the kind of guy that when you're out fishing, like when I used to go out sailing, I didn't know who the hell I was, where I was. Nothing was renting any space in my head or bothering me or that was occupying any of my energy other than pure ecstasy of where I was and what I was doing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You forget about all your troubles.
You forget about life.
Yeah.
You forget about life. Whatever you are going through, everybody goes through everything.
Right.
We've all had our fair share of trials, tribulations, and everything. Sure. But when you're out there on the water and you're having fun like that, everything just
nothing
pushed
else
off to the side.
What's the next big thing for you? What's the next big moment for you?
The big moment
November.
is November. November 9th through the 11th, Florence, Alabama, Lake Pickwick. It's, you know, like I said, I've been looking at everything, this, that, and the other. And I was fortunate enough to talk to a couple of the Elite Series guys last Sunday and ask them about it. Matt Robertson, he's an Elite Series rookie. He gave me a lot of valuable pointers because he was a Bass Nation guy that got to the Elite Series and is very well versed in fishing Pickwick at that time of year. So for what I think it's going to shape up to be is fishing pretty much right in my wheelhouse. So I'm hopefully can put it together for 3 days and come out hopefully in the top 10.
You'll let us know.
Absolutely.
All right, man. We'll be and I know Raylene will be watching carefully. Even if I forget, Raylene will be reminding me that you're doing this in November. A couple of months away, man. You must be so stoked about it.
I'm excited. Doesn't even put it into words.
But you'll be back out on Champlain every opportunity you get.
Absolutely.
All summer.
Absolutely.
What's the best time of year to fish for bass? Is it September?
You know, truthfully, October. October on Champlain.
Interesting.
It's dynamite.
That's awesome.
And that's primarily, you know, what the bass are on Pickwick are going to be doing is in November is like it's our September, October up here. Yeah. They're starting to move up shallow. They're putting the feed bag on before winter, so they're going to be hungry and willing to eat.
That's so cool. Tip of the hat to the Rutland Bass Club and Vermont Bass Nation nonprofit, which Vermont is very proud to be a part of. Garrett Sisley, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in here, brother.
Appreciate it.
Let's get you back in, man. When you get back in November, when you come back, let's sneak you back in here and see how you did.
Absolutely.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.